Ladies and gentlemen, have you calmed down yet? What went wrong yesterday at Fratton Park for Leeds United? We're going to have a brutal but very honest and realistic chat about what's happening with Leeds United. Is it time to panic or should we remain calm and remember what this Leeds side can do? Let's get into 5 things we learned from Pompey 1, Leeds United 0. All right, guys, what's going on? My name is Ollie Ward. Welcome back to the Ollie Ward channel. Happy Monday. Hope you've all recovered from that result yesterday and you're ready for 5 things we learned. 5 things we learned is a series I'm kind of doing on and off where we take the most recent game and have 5 little chats about something that happened in that game. It's sort of a bigger discussion today. A lot of Leeds fans, including myself yesterday, were panicking. Have we seen this script before? Is it Leeds United have fallen apart again? But we're going to have 5 things. We're going to have a chat about them. Get in the comments down below and I want to know all your opinions. Be sure to smash that like button as well. Subscribe if you are new and get all your comments in. Like I say, we're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. So if you are new around here, Leeds United fan or not, it really does help me out. So yeah, let's get into 5 things we learned from Portsmouth 1, Leeds United 0. Obviously, yesterday when you do the match reaction, it's 5 minutes after a match. You're overreacting. A lot of Leeds United fans are furious. And then you have a day to sort of recover and think about it and put life back together, and it's really not that deep. But if you're being realistic, Leeds United were 5, however many points clear of third. We looked like we had a healthy sort of gap on Sheffield United as well. Now the top 3 is all up for grabs, and Leeds United can't afford to go back into the playoffs. You know, they really can't. But we're going to start off with the 5 things, and the first thing is I don't really want to do it too much because I don't really want to dig into players when there's 10 games going, but changes are needed. So I've said here, what does Brenden Aaronson do right now? What is he contributing to this Leeds United side? He's got 1 goal and no assists in 2025. And I believe one of them goals came against Cardiff when we won 7-0. I might be wrong there. But either way, Brenden Aaronson has started off the season brilliantly. He had a brilliant back end of 2024. It was always going to be hard to come back into this Leeds United side, win the Leeds United fans over. But right now, I'm not basing that on anything when he jumped ship or anything. I'm basing it on what is he doing in games now? You know, he's not doing enough to play in that number 10 role. I would personally right now rather have Joe Rothwell in the 10 or Willie Gnonto in the 10 or Ramazani in the 10. Solomon in the 10. Brenden Aaronson isn't doing it for me. Joel Piroe and put Mateo Joseph up top. Brenden Aaronson is not contributing anything in that role. And, you know, like I said, I don't really want to dig him out, and he is not at fault for the reason we lost yesterday. But it's been kind of this thing the last few games. It looks like sometimes we're playing with 10 men. He does run around. He does try and win the ball back. And obviously Daniel Farke is a massive fan of Brenden Aaronson. But between me and you, I don't know right now what he's contributing to this Leeds United side. Like I said, he had a brilliant back end of 2024. I believe he's got 8 goals, 2 assists this season, but only 1 goal contribution has come in 2025. It's March the 10th right now. We're 3 months into it. Why does he keep persisting with Brenden Aaronson? For me, I don't understand it. And a big part of yesterday was learning. A big part of yesterday was changes are needed. You know, you don't spend in January. You don't bring in the number 10 that Daniel Farke has wanted since Jorginho Rutter has left. You stick with Brenden Aaronson. I think he is a brilliant player on his day in the Championship. But you need to bring on someone who can give him a bit different. You know, and Brenden Aaronson for right now is not cutting the mustard for me. He needs to be changed for that next game midweek. Personally, that's my opinion. Either way, let me know yours in the comments down below. Number 2, again, I love how I said that I don't want to pinpoint the players. But was Meslier at fault again for the goal? I kind of jokingly said in my reaction yesterday that he was doing the hokey cokey, that he wants to come out, that he wants to go in. At the end of the day, it was in the back of your net, son. And how many times has that happened to Meslier? I think you could argue that it was kind of Joe Rodon's fault as well. But when you watch the replay, Joe Rodon saying, you come out and get it. And I kind of put here in my notes, a bit tongue-in-cheek, but I'm convinced Rodon and Meslier don't like each other. They really don't. They seem to always be screaming at each other, not happy with each other. I don't think Rodon trusts him, which is understandable with the season he's had, but Rodon isn't faultless. You know, Rodon wasn't brilliant yesterday at all, and I'd like to just focus on yesterday's game when I'm doing a 5 things we learned from this specific game, and Rodent wasn't very good at all. He was getting bullied in the air, similar with Pascal, by Bishop up top. They both were. So I don't think it was necessarily, I think it was a mix up between the pair of them, and it was one simple ball over the top and it was coming. And either way, Meslier, was he at fault again? I want to know what you guys are thinking. And this whole thing of needing a goalkeeper in the summer, I think whatever division, I would be more confident with someone else in goal. That's just not me saying, I don't hate Meslier. I'm not going at, I know I feel like when someone you talk about a player, I think Meslier has got a lot of backlash this year. But what we're doing is the thing where you talk to like a 7-year-old or whatever, you're saying, oh, well done for catching the ball. Well done for not making a mistake today. That shouldn't be where we want to be as a club. We're pushing to be a Premier League club. And look at Portsmouth's keeper yesterday. He absolutely kept him in the game. And a lot of people say, yeah, Mellier's kept us in games like this season. I don't really know when. He's made a few saves, I understand, but in the words of Roy Keane, that's his job. Do you know what I mean? That is his job. And for me, I kind of said I don't want to be digging players, but I've already spoke about Brenden Aaronson and Meslier. But the third point or third things, or the third thing in 5 things we've learned from Pompey game is we need to learn to respect opponents and stop being naive. I think this hangover of the Sheffield United and Sunderland game is really hanging on the heads of Leeds United players. We can go 1-0 down. Oh, we'll get it back. We'll get it back. It's fine. We'll get 97 minutes and we'll get a couple in then. West Brom game, I hate that sort of typical thing that you score too early. I don't actually believe that, but I'm saying it. This game, we conceded. And I think there's a sense of naivety that this Leeds side were like, yeah, of course, we've got firepower. We'll put the 6 strikers on that Daniel Farke does. That's only worked once, can I add? And we'll go and beat this team. And I think we've got to respect opponents more. And that's what I get sometimes from this Leeds United side. Too slow. Sometimes I'm watching that a wee 4-0 up. Tanaka, Meslier, the back four, are we like just sort of relaxing on the ball too much when we should actually be going for the goal? 1-0 down at Fratton Park isn't an easy scoreline. And all I've done is credited Portsmouth and Fratton Park yesterday. I thought Portsmouth came with a game plan. They dominated Leeds. And Fratton Park, what an atmosphere. What an absolute atmosphere they created. And I don't know if the Leeds fans dealt with it very well. I thought they were going to come walk in the park. We've beaten, and realistically, if we want to be completely honest right now, them Sunderland and Sheffield United results mean nothing when you get a point out of West Brom and Portsmouth, when there was a potential 6 points there. And, that's just, Burnley don't seem to be losing right now. They're conceding, but they're scoring more now. And Sheffield United just seem to, they're not brilliant when you watch them, but they're doing the right things. They're doing the right things. They're getting the 3 points. And so are Leeds for the majority of the season. Don't get me wrong. This isn't me having a complete meltdown. This is me saying what went wrong yesterday and changes we need for the next game, which is Wednesday night against Millwall, who always bully us. So that's going to be a tough game. But the fourth thing is kind of what I'm talking about now. Changes are needed. I'd start by, getting rid of Brenden Aaronson. I would. He can't start in the 10 for me on Wednesday night. He really can't. Against Millwall, he's going to get absolutely bullied. I think you've got to start Joe Rothwell as well. Joe Rothwell has to come in from the beginning. Gruev, for me, is too slow. He really is. Tanaka yesterday was terrible as well. I thought he was very, very slow, but Tanaka's had a very, very good season. And Gruev's got a good history at Leeds United. Don't get me wrong. He's a fantastic player. But yesterday, he didn't look good enough to start the next game. He really didn't. And you bring Joe Rothwell on, there's a bit more passing. I don't like this whole bringing on Joe Rothwell when we need a goal. Why don't we get 2 or 3 goals and then he can come off for a Gruev to see out a game? That's what I would prefer, to go and get the goal first, then sit back. Not sit back and then bring Rothwell on to get a goal, if you understand what I mean. I think there's got to be changes there. I don't know who, but I'd like to see Joe Rothwell in. I'd even like to see Ramazani or Nonto in, or maybe even put Matteo Joseph as the 9, Piroe as the 10. But for me, the 2 players that need dropping, in my opinion, is Gruev and Brenden Aaronson for Wednesday's game against Millwall. What do you guys think in the comments down below? And the 5th thing in 5 things we've learned versus Portsmouth is keep calm. But I do understand the panic. I've seen the script before. We've seen this Leeds United team fall away before. The last sort of 10, 11 games last year, I think we won 2 or 3 games, which wasn't enough to keep up with Leicester and Ipswich. It really wasn't. And we paid the price for it in the playoff final. We really did. And we don't want the same outcome again. If Leeds United get playoffs this year, even if we go up, I think it's a failure. I do think it is a failure. If this side, this squad, the wage bill, Daniel Farke, everything that we've got at the club, it is a failure if Leeds United don't get in the top two or don't win the league. I really think it is. A lot of, fans, rival fans have already said, yeah, Leeds have won the league. That's fine. Who's going to finish second or whatever? But I think Leeds United fans get sort of boosted, that our egos get boosted, and we think we deserve that. We didn't deserve that against Portsmouth yesterday. And yes, we should have had a penalty. Other days, them chances go in. But you know, Auntie was the uncle and all that. So I don't know really, but either way, I do believe we should remain calm. We're still top of the league. Our goal difference pretty much counts as a point. We're about 20 ahead of Sheffield United and Burnley. But either way, we need to remain calm. Hopefully, the same thing doesn't happen as last year, but I understand the panic. But for me, I am keeping calm, but changes are needed. Guys, if you did enjoy 5 things we learned versus Portsmouth, be sure to smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. And yeah, it really does help me out on the channel. Let me know your comments. I'm going to be replying to you all. And yeah, have a great rest of your Monday evening. I've been Ollie Ward, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheery. Oh, I forgot to do my outro. That was all weird. Let's do it again. Cheery. Oh.